Good morning. It's Sunday, October 3rd. And this morning I'd like to ask this question. Who's the boss? I'm asking that question because I see in the United States Senate and the United States Congress and in the White House, nobody's really in charge. We have this diverse population, starting with Joe Biden, running through Bernie Sanders and the Squad, and the Progressives, and Joe Manchin, and Sonoma, and no one can get anything done. So I ask, who's in charge? Who's the boss? Who's laying down the law? Schumer is not doing his job. He's not able, as the majority leader, to consolidate the forces needed in the Senate. You have Joe Manchin, who wrote a document 3 months ago that stated his case for a $1.5 trillion reconciliation bill, and stated his case on the corporate taxes, 25%, not 28%. And nobody took that document seriously, except Joe Manchin. He has stood by that document from the very beginning. And the progressives have refused to vote for the infrastructure bill because there has been no movement on the reconciliation, on the social bill, which they consider more important than infrastructure. So, what is the White House doing? Seems to me that they have screwed this thing up. They haven't gotten together with anybody, really. They haven't been able to lay down the law to these people and say, look guys, we gotta get this thing done. They barely passed a raise in the debt ceiling, which is going to run out in a couple of weeks, and we're going through that all over again. So when you look at this thing, and you look and you see that they need 50 Senate votes, and there are 3 or 4 different people in the Senate that are definitely not going to vote with them. You got Sonoma, you got Manchin, you got Sanders, and you probably have some other senators who are on the cusp also, but they haven't spoken out. And the margin in Congress is tiny. The Democrats hold control of Congress by 3 votes. And the progressives, the ones who are needed to swing toward the center, are not prepared to do that because their jobs are not at stake, apparently. They have run in districts where they have no real competition. The competitive districts are in the centrist hands. And those are the people who are going to worry about this. Those are the people who are likely to lose their jobs. So what have we gotten ourselves into here? This is a disaster. It's going to continue to be a disaster. Nancy Pelosi has pulled every trick in the bag to get this thing moving. In fact, she did not adjourn Congress on Thursday evening, which meant technically well into Friday and into Saturday, they were still on September 30th. That's pretty awful when you can think about that. Consider the fact that she's got to play these tricks in order to attempt to get these bills passed, because we have obstinate people who are defending their positions and are not prepared to move in any significant matter. Not even in any insignificant matter are they prepared to move. They are sticking to their guns. And we listen to some of the officials in Congress who have come forth and said, don't worry, we'll have a vote. We'll have a vote tonight tomorrow. But they didn't have a vote. They didn't have a vote because voting would have gone down. It would have been defeated. And so are we going to end up without any of these bills being passed this year? I ask you that question seriously. I ask that question. Do you really think we'll have an infrastructure bill or a reconciliation bill? Will we really ever get to the point where we have to worry about how to pay for this bill? Are we just wasting our time putting on a show for the rest of the world to show how inept we have become? I think that's the case. This is nothing more than a gang war, so to speak. No boss, no real leadership, nobody that is prepared to grab somebody by the balloons and squeeze, because they have no leverage. They have nothing to give. And you know the way our Congress and Senate work. You've got to give something to get something. And the givers are not prepared to give. And the takers are not prepared to take. It's a crazy situation. It's unheard of. We have never seen anything like this in our lives, as far as I know. We've never seen a hang-up like this. Something that really, really could be solved by agreeing to at least take steps, set a calendar, prepare things to happen at certain days and certain times. But no, nobody's budging from their position. And why? Why is they so locked in? I don't know. But I think all of the blame for this is going to fall on Joe Biden because he took this job. He wanted this job. He defeated Bernie Sanders in the primary. And now Sanders seems like he has more leverage than Biden. And the progressives have more leverage than Biden. So how do we break this impasse? Who? Where is the intelligent person? The person who can do something to break this impasse. Certainly the leaders haven't done it yet. You got Schumer. You got Biden. Kamala Harris has disappeared. You got Sanders. You got Sinema. You got Manchin. And none of them was able to turn the table to the right side and bring about a reasonable solution to this problem. Because there's no question in anybody's mind that infrastructure needs to be taken care of. And the reconciliation, the social side of this thing needs work too. Is it a desperate situation? Absolutely it's a desperate situation. It's desperate to prove to the Republicans that the Democrats can lead, and it's desperate to prove to the rest of the world that we are a democracy that can come together at the right time. But you know what? Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And so I leave you with that thought. Who is the boss? I'll see you in the morning. Bye.